Guys, shop the store, www.versapparel.co. That's right, www.versapparel.co. Go to the store. My favorite shirt is the skeleton skating shirt in that light gray tee. And my second favorite shirt is the astronaut surfing shirt in the white tee, guys. And then also the yellow Verse shirt in the radical Verse sign in that mellow yellow. And also, guys, with every purchase you buy online at www.versapparel.co, you will get a free compilation CD. What is up, you guys? Thank you for viewing and listening to the Verse Podcast, guys. Like and subscribe as always, guys. We have a special guest in today. I'm not going to waste any time, but I just got one promotion to thank you guys for. I want to thank you guys for coming out to AC Beer Fest, guys. Thank you guys so much. We'll get into all of that and the whole story with the whole gang Verse in a couple weeks, but I don't want to waste any time because we have a very special guest that we've been waiting for to have here, and it is the Warped Tour Band.
Your lipstick is color, don't bother it, Joe. I know exactly what goes on.
The Warped Tour Band, performing all your favorite emo and pop punk hits live. From your favorite bands, such as My Chemical Romance, Good Charlotte, Brand New, Taking Back Sunday, Simple Plan, and much more. Come rock out with the Warped Tour Band for an emo pop punk live show you won't soon forget. For information on shows and more, visit www.thewarpedtourband.com.
Oh my God, where are they?
Wow.
Wait.
So hi, I'm Anthony. I'm in the Warped Tour Band, and this is Lou, and he's in the Warped Tour Band too. And we've been itching to come on to the podcast, and thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
We
Yeah,
were
of course.
we were really looking forward to this for like a long time.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it. We're actually recording on a Monday, guys. This is how bad we need to get them in
Mondays,
here. Because
man.
they're constant. You guys are constantly playing shows, right? Every weekend.
We don't have any. We're booked through the summer.
Yeah.
We're already booked through, like booking next year and stuff. So
That's amazing.
I feel like I'm like the Adam West Batman. Like I go on and put my clean clothes on and go and do my regular like life stuff, and then all of a sudden on the weekends I'm Batman. It's like, and I gotta go and just do the shows, and it's
you
great
haven't wore
though.
a cape yet. When you bring out the cape,
We'll bring out the cape.
cool.
Oh,
soon.
you gotta do that. Like a
Yeah.
nice Warped Tour Band cape.
Absolutely.
Like red or something.
Yeah.
we do a
Sick.
superhero. We'll do a superhero theme show one day.
That would be great.
Oh, it'd be like a real big fish type of thing. Remember
Yeah,
those guys?
Yeah.
I'll be the Hulk. I'll be the Hulk.
Yeah.
Come out like the Aquabats. Yeah, like it would be awesome. Yeah.
You guys want to talk about what your role is in the band? I mean, I know what they are, but like for people just viewing in now.
What's your role, Anthony?
I'm the singer, and basically what I do is I go up and I
sing.
pull, yeah,
I tune the microphone.
yeah, I pull my shenanigans on stage, and I try to swing the microphone and not hit anybody with it, and
I've been hit. I've been hit once.
yeah, I'm for the most part I'm pretty
Yeah.
accurate with being safe about it, but I run into elements every now and again where I'll just like swing it too hard and I'll end up hitting somebody, but it's all in the fun.
It's all in,
Yeah.
in the events of what happens on stage.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes stays on stage, but then sometimes you get hit in the eye with a microphone.
Yeah.
And that'll bruise that week.
Yeah, I actually took one pretty bad to the top of my head. I was playing a show in Mulcahy's about a month or two back, and I was on stage by myself just before curtains, and I was just training.
Practicing.
Yeah, I was practicing, and my hand got sweaty and the mic slipped and I couldn't grab it in time, so I missed it with my hand and it nailed me like right on top of my forehead. You heard this big thud come out and the curtains are closed, like the outside house music is on and you just hear this huge thud like boom and like everybody's like, what was that? And I was like,
that was Anthony's noggin hitting a $2,500 Sennheiser wireless microphone.
Concussion number 1.
Yeah.
And I'm Lou, and I play guitar and sing sometimes in the Warped Tour band.
Nice.
So I don't swing my guitar though. I like it too much.
No story of the year antics.
No. It's a beautiful guitar, so I want to keep it where it's safe.
What are you playing?
Gibson Les Paul.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
It's just beautiful, like mahogany red. I don't know. Yeah,
Nice.
it's mahogany.
That's
red.
awesome.
Is that a color? I don't know.
Mahogany.
Yep.
Mahogany.
My apartment's filled with rich mahogany. I don't know if you know this, but
Yeah. When I saw you guys at that was the first time I saw you was at Starland a couple weeks ago. We talked about it on the episodes before this, but I remember because Anthony, are you the one that knows Allison that comes on? Or?
I think it's one of our drummers.
Oh, one of
Nick
the drummers?
Santini, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she's been singing with us for a couple of years and on and off. So sometimes we have a female lead or a female vocal come and take a few songs for Anthony to get his union break. So Allison was one of the first females we had kind of join us for some Paramore and Avril Lavigne, and she's friends with Nick Santini, our drummer. So
okay. Yeah, I saw one of your clips on IG, and you bring different girls up, right, to sing, like you were saying.
Yeah, we have a rotation, just for like 2 or 3 songs, and it gives him his break.
Yeah,
and also just changes it up a little bit. As we can do some Paramore, which is always a crowd favorite. Avril Lavigne.
That's a big one.
Do some duets with Anthony. So
yeah, we usually end up doing that one from A Day to Remember.
Yeah,
and,
if it means a lot.
Yeah, if it means a lot to you, and we usually incorporate the female vocalist up on stage with us to do the second verse and just sing the backgrounds and the harmonies and stuff in the track, which is fun, and it like creates a new like dynamic for like the stage and the atmosphere and just like how we perform, and like that's what I really like about it. It's like I don't feel any type of way when like I have to exit the stage or get off the stage and have like an external vocalist come up and perform and stuff. I actually encourage it.
We do that often, not just with females. We have a couple of singers that we switch in. Some of the guys in the band sing their lead songs, but we have a screamer that comes sometimes, which has been awesome. That allows us to do some Under Oath and some Silverstein. Not that Anthony can't handle it, but when you're singing 90 to 100 minutes of this type of music, it gets
it gets very raspy.
Yeah. So having like a supplemental screamer or like just a guest vocalist from a friend's band that just comes on and changes that element for a little different kind of energy. And, Allison is one of the females that we tap in for some Paramore and Avril, and it's always fun. So
and I met him through Nick Santini. I met her Allison and her husband to be when
he's
I first
one of the
met
hosts
them.
on this podcast.
Yeah, I know. I see him every now and again when I see you guys. Like, I go through it on Spotify. So I was just like, hey, what's up? It's like so they're cool people. I'm very fortunate for meeting them, and they're great performers. And I
just realized this just goes up and down.
He's disappearing.
I'm just like,
the reason I brought up I saw this singer switch was because on one of your IG stories or post, one of the girls that you brought up, I don't know what show it was. I saw her. I went to Hawthorne Heights show when they did like the orchestra. And she came up and she was singing. And I recognized her.
That was
Jazzy Jess. Yeah.
So she came to you saw the Jersey show?
I saw it on IG. For Hawthorne Heights.
Yeah. So I think she sung with Hawthorne Heights for that emo orchestra in Jersey. And then we had another one of our singers sing with Hawthorne Heights on the Long Island show, which is Natalie. So we got some really cool good talent, all around us, and that's important. Having that great talent,
That's what's great about it too. It's just like the community is so vibrant when it comes to just being connected to this band. Like we're always finding and becoming friends with so many interesting and awesome people, and they're very, very good at what they do, and that's what I really love about it, because it's like we're all that interconnected, like old school scenesters, where we're all trying to like support each other and make sure that we all get there, like together, and that's what I really love about it. It's like I'm always up for supporting everybody else, and I love everybody. It's like it's a really great feeling to be to be into this and to do it this way. It's like I couldn't ask for anything more. Like it's awesome. Yeah,
one of our guest singers, just his band, his original band, his band opened for us over the weekend. So it's always cool, you know, because it's cool to have like an original band, but they do covers too. But, you know, and we're a cover tribute band, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, we all come from the original music scene, you know, back in the day. So,
We're around the same age. So,
I'm 22. How old are you?
My ID says 21, but I'm really 18.
Awesome. So we're on the same page. But yeah, me and Anthony were in an original band, and that's how we met each other. So.
Yeah, I met you through John. Like my good friend John Stevens, who was in Lou's band. He heard about me through a mutual friend that I was working with, and I was kind of just bumming out and like not doing anything music wise, and somebody heard one of my old demos and said, you got to get back into a band, and I know somebody that can connect you to somebody. And so Johnny brought me to Lou, and then I filled in as the lead singer for his original band called The Still Life. We did pretty good for that like that moment in time, and
we had to grow up and do stuff. So.
Anyway,
when did you guys stop that project? Around like the year
2014.
Yeah, just
2014.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So just you get old, and not get old, but you kind of gotta either choose if you want to just pursue the band stuff or pay rent.
I know.
And we started doing covers there at the end there to kind of fund the original band. So we do a cover show, we take that money and put it into like promotion for the original band. And that was what we were doing towards the end there, right?
Does it look better?
Can we get hair in here?
We need more hair.
But yeah, and we started doing that towards the end, and like that's kind of how we like transitioned to the cover scene.
So that's how you started.
We didn't really start, but it kind of like gave us the taste of like, hey, if there's other things to do within the music, music scene live wise, and it kind of took it from there. And a couple of years went by, and we started a Blink-182 tribute band.
Is that what was first?
Yeah, the Blink-182 tribute band was first. So. That's kind of where we started with the tribute scene in the serious way, and we did that for a year and a half, and that at that point we were like, all right, Blink. It's only so many Blink-182, only so many times we can play "Damn It" and like be hyped about
it's
it.
Like the first song I learned on guitar.
Right? Yeah,
I think that was everybody's first song. Yeah,
same. And we were like, all right, well, there's a lot of other great music, and pop punk has always been fun for us to play. So I'm like, all right, let's see how we can expand the material and expand the catalog. And through that, it came the Warped Tour band, and then we called Anthony back, and he was still available, luckily. So that we came from there.
Yeah. Like when I first got reconnected with Lou, I just made. I'm not very anti-social media, but I just don't keep up with anything technological wise. So
I don't think
very
you had
hard.
a Facebook, right?
I didn't have. I just made a Facebook.
Okay.
And it's like 2015, 2016, give or take a little. And Lou found me on Facebook, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm doing pretty good." And I was looking to just reach out to some people and try and get involved in music projects again and do some original music. And I couldn't find anything going on. So I noticed that Lou had the tribute band set up with all the Blink-182 things. So I decided to take a night out and just go see them, because I knew the drummer Nick Rice. And ironically enough, I knew his guitar player Steve before I knew Steve. I'll get to that story later. It's a really funny one. So I went out, I had a good time, I saw them perform, and then like a week later, Lou calls me up. He's like, I got a project. And
Always got a project.
and he's like, I want to do like an all-inclusive tribute band to all like the Warped-esque bands. And I was just like, I don't know. I was like,
Anthony, I don't know. It took a little bit for Anthony to get his head around, the cover bands thing. I think that was a little bit. a challenge. Not a challenge, but like, a little bit of an uphill thing for him.
Yeah, I just wanted to do a project where I just didn't want it to be work. I wanted it to be fun and inclusive and just embrace it and just feel like I was back in my old element when I get to perform on stage. And I've always had trouble like adjusting when I'm trying to perform other people's music. But this was kind of like, it's not necessarily a cheat. It's like all the music I grew up with. So it's like I have the spirit animal of it like in my brain. So it's like, I'll think about it. So my wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, but she was my girlfriend and my fiance. And she says, listen, try it out and see if you like it. If you don't like it, you could always just quit and then just try to find something else. So I was like, all right, I'll give this a chance. So we started practicing and we did our first show at Mulcahy's at like, what, 2016? Give or take?
No, 2018.
2018.
June 2018 was the first
June
show.
2018. And yeah, I haven't looked back. It was like from the first like show, it was like I was like shocked. It was like I couldn't even like fathom the amount of people that would like just.
I think we opened that first show with 1,000 people, or
Yeah.
over 1,000 people. Yeah, and that's the first show. I mean, it has a lot to do, with the branding, of course. The theme, the emo pop punk theme. But that was probably like top core memories, like when that curtain opened at Mulcahy's on Long Island.
I was flabbergasted. Yeah. Like I didn't know what to say. The only thing that could come out of my mouth was like, "Hi." I was like,
"Hey guys."
But yeah, retrospectively looking back, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. Like this is it for me. Like this is all I've ever wanted to do, and it's a great feeling that we still, we've been going for the amount of time that we've been going, and it just hasn't lost its momentum at all. It's just it's continually growing and it's expansive and.
It really is expensive.
Yeah,
We're
and
6 years in almost.
yeah, and we get to perform like all these new places, like, and it gives me the opportunity to travel and see places that I've never seen before, and I love it.
That's the coolest thing, because when we were an original band, we would do like these small tours and try to go out, and it's tough as an original band. Nobody knows you out of state, and that's why you tour. So but with the Warped Tour band, we with social media and all that that interaction kind of things, it helps. So the first time we play a new city, we'll do a lot of marketing and ads and stuff, and it takes off. So we'll go down like out of state, 7-8 hours away, where we've never even been ourselves, and there'll be people there, and it's awesome. And there's new people, and that was always the funnest part, is playing for new people and people we've never met in places we've never been to. And that's always a new and exciting adventure for us when we go out.
And not only that, it's just like it's still fun. It's like
I have so much fun.
I have so much
I
fun.
think
I'm
we're
seeing your guys' IG, and I'm like, these guys
200
are...
Yeah.
Yeah.
200 shows. I think we're at least 200 shows. I haven't counted yet.
Yeah.
But we did 100 shows. Like it was our 4th year anniversary, and we were at 100 and 150 shows maybe. We got to be at like 200 now. So,
Yeah. You're asking me.
still-
I'm not the math guy. Come on.
But yeah, it's still. I mean, Saturday we just played Saturday, and so much fun. It's a venue we've played 6, maybe 12 times. And
Where'd you guys play?
Patchogue in 89 North.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a great little, great medium-sized venue, and
Yeah.
it's packed out, and energy was high, and it's just so much fun. Like you're just buzzing for like 24 to 48 hours after. It's like still like it's.
And it's nice too. It's like Patchogue's like where I'm from originally. Like I grew up in the Patchogue Medford area. I'm from Eagle Estates, and going to Patchogue and hanging out with like all the old crew members of like the 2000s rock and roll scene. They all come out to the show, which is amazing to me. It's just like I see people that I haven't seen like bumming around at shows for like 20 years, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's you. Hey, how are you? And you get to talk to them again. And I really love that element of it too. It's like it's bringing like the communities back together again, and we're all celebrating like this big heaping apparatus that we've all created for ourselves to have a good time and have fun. It's
So much fun.
Yeah, Warped Tour was like the biggest thing back then.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are like bringing it back. It's very like nostalgic.
Yeah.
Even at your show, when I saw you guys at Starland, like there were people there. I'm like, you guys are here. I haven't seen you like from the scene back in the
Right.
day.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of it. It's like it incorporates all elements of like what made it good and what made it interesting and what made it fun. And
Everyone has a connection to it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
we see people like come back and come for the first time and come back for more shows, and it's just always a good time. And
Yeah.
like just intermingling the communities and the scenes. It's
Yeah.
great.
What's your favorite state to play?
Ooh, New Jersey.
New
New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Oh, is that where we are right now? No, New Jersey.
I'm not even. Yeah, I'm not.
You're in Jersey now.
yeah.
What about New York?
I like New York. Yeah, but
I mean, New Jersey has been really good to us. I
Yeah.
mean, we play down in Asbury Park. We've done the Pony at time this will air. We've done the Pony. We haven't done it yet, so
Yeah.
we're in the future.
Yeah.
Starland, incredible. Like one of the biggest shows I was at as a fan. 20 or 15 years ago when I was a young kid. I saw Taking Back Sunday, Matchbook Romance at Starland as a
Matchbook
fan.
Romance.
Yeah.
That is throwback.
And it's like that was one of my first shows I went to as a fan, and I remember sitting there. I'm like, damn, this is a fucking huge venue.
yeah.
And there we are. Almost sold it out the first time. Like it was like 1,600, and it's amazing. You were there for the second show, just as big, and we're at backstage in the green room. Like, damn, like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like sometimes we do feel out of place.
Yeah,
like we're just
the response to it is just it's just any like if you're in a band, it's like it's everything you could ever hope for. It's like I mean, most of the times I get up on stage and I'm like, I am unworthy of this. It's like,
but
it's
you
like,
are though.
Thank you.
You have to. You
Yeah.
have to say.
And
I'm
I'm
doing
very
the people's work.
Yeah.
Someone has to do it.
Right. Yeah. And it's
very grateful to do it.
very grateful
Yeah.
and very humbled that people still come.
I mean, it's such a great idea. Like, it's like, oh man.
I mean, it we could go back and forth on who he'll hear this, but me and Steve, which is the other guitar player in the band, I was the bassist and I am the bassist in all the Blink things.
Yeah.
And he was Tom in all the Blink things, the guitar player. And we had these conversations before the Warped Tour band was even, established, and like, hey, let's do something where it's just not Blink. Let's do something more general, more variety. And we tossed around names and the emo band, the emo tribute band, whatever it was. And I think the Pop Punkers was another one. And then like he has the screenshot of the text, so I'll give it that. And he did say the Warped Tour band, and I did say like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he did the mock up of the logo. I'm like, hell yeah.
It's so viable, like just doing it, because you could always just change like your set to like the bands you like.
And
so.
we always say like when we're adding new songs, like, oh, did this band play the Warped Tour? It doesn't matter, it's just all emo pop punk. So
it's in that genre.
Bands that never really were even on the tour, were like, all right, it fits in, it fits the vibe, fits the mold.
Yeah.
We do try to keep it, to the emo pop punk genre. Yeah. Even though people's like, oh, you got to play Eminem because he was on the Warped Tour one year. I'm like,
I said that.
it was you. All right, just we'll bring out some Eminem next time.
Yeah, but the one thing that's really cool about it is there's a huge pool of dynamic to draw from, because they're like when we were going to Warped Tour, I mean, it was kind of genrefied, but it really wasn't. It was like there was a huge expanse of all these different types of elements of music that were all trying and doing different things and newer things and interesting things, and so the pool to gather from is infinite. Like, I mean, we're always throwing around ideas
You
to
got
like
the bands on that list over there.
yeah,
man.
like to throw into to throw into the roster, and then just like let's do a song from them. Like, I come from a background of like a lot of like the old school punk bands. I was really into Bad Religion growing up. I was really into Pennywise, Operation Ivy, Minor Threat, all those bands and stuff. So
That was like the first Warped Tour.
yeah, it's like like things like that. It might not fit the element of what we've done so far, but I'm always like itching to try and get one in there and just be like, let's try it, like and just see if we get like a response, or like if we just have fun with it.
Yeah.
But we're always going back and forth with what we should add, what we should take out and stuff. We actually did the Early November a couple of times, and that was one of my favorite pulls to put into the roster and put it on the set list.
Well,
like,
which song?
which song did we do? Yeah. Every Night's Another Story. No.
The intro has harmonics in
Yeah.
it.
Oh, bam, 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 bam.
For
These
all-
eyes are slowly coming in
disguise. We're swerving
Yeah.
off the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of the name of it?
I
Right
can't.
now?
I can't
It's
remember.
not called for all of this, but
Yeah,
that's the
for
main.
all of this, I'm better off without you. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but yeah, we actually got a response from them for that song,
Yeah,
and
they
like
shared
it
the
was
story.
really, really cool. It was like one of those Instagram things. They asked us what song we were playing, and I was just like, well, now
it's called I Want to Hear You Say.
yeah, I want to hear you
Oh,
sad.
okay. Yeah. You know, it's because those drive-through bands were like really big during that scene.
Especially
yeah,
in this
yeah,
the Northeast, Jersey and Long Island, and the early November. Yeah, that was a great.
When I was in
time
a
playing.
band, we recorded where Early November recorded. It's right down the street from
Oh,
here.
cool.
Yeah, but they moved the studio. It's called Portrait Studios.
Okay.
Okay.
Chris Badami, shout out.
Nice.
He's still going at it. He's still producing and stuff.
Right on.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, drive-through, man. I had all those DVDs.
Yeah,
Starting Line, Early November, Census Fail.
I'm in the first one.
Really?
Yeah, I
The
am.
first
Like with the
DVD?
back of my head is I'm in the crowd moshing to the movie Life.
Oh, the movie
Yeah,
life.
they had like a
Wow.
live capture when they were playing Hand Grenade, and it was my first time ever seeing them.
Yeah.
And I didn't that's what I loved about Warped Tour too. It was like it exposed you to the bands that you didn't know
Yeah.
about, and then all of a sudden you're there and you're just seeing this whole like populace just gravitate towards this band and just have a great time with it, and you get to discover new music.
Well, that's where I actually discovered Early November.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
on the Ernie Ball stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the race at Englishtown Raceway. I think it was 2004.
Yeah.
That we went, and that was my first one. And all I remember was the bass player like hanging upside down from like one of the rafters, like with his knees. And I was like, oh man, I got to check this band out. And
Oh,
that's-
Sergio. The
Yeah, he's
Sergio.
nuts.
Yeah.
And I just, I honestly, I couldn't really tell you what songs they played. It was like my first time seeing them, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna check them out. And I've been a fan since. So we just saw Early November, a couple months ago.
Yeah, they played Mulcahy's.
Yeah, they saw.
Yeah, we saw them around here. Well, for us, Wellmont and Montclair. They
Okay.
they were with Armor for Sleep, right? That's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
It was the
that's
Armor
right.
for Sleep 20-year.
Yeah.
For that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
And then
They-
Houston calls, man.
yeah.
I haven't heard Houston.
Yeah,
Oof.
it was fun. It was funny. We had Bayville Fest last year, and we were in Asbury the day before because it's by Bayville Asbury Park. So we stayed at the hotel the night before, and we just went out to eat. And then my friend Vinny, that's Allison's husband, we're walking across the street after he ate, and we're looking at House of Independence, and Vin goes, "Is that the real Houston Calls?" I look up, I'm like, "Dude, that's Houston Calls playing tonight."
That's
And then
great.
we went there, and then
Oh, how
they
funny.
sold out the venue. Yeah.
What venue was it?
It was House of Independence.
House of Independence,
It's
okay.
not around anymore. They got flooded out. last summer.
damn.
Yeah.
One of the hurricanes.
Yeah.
Shit.
That was a cool venue. But they still have Stone Pony there.
Yeah.
They still have Lanes is still there.
Yeah.
That was a cool place. We
Yeah.
played in.
Yeah.
It's a really freaking cool venue with the bowling
Yeah.
alley right there.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
that was like that was the first night that I actually I actually felt my mortality as a vocalist. Like I like about a week later I went into the doctor and I went to an ENT and I actually I got diagnosed with GERD, which is like it's a form of acid reflux where it could affect your vocal range if you're like trying to use it. And it really, really scared me because like a lot of people said I did really good there, but I knew that there was something wrong and it kind of scared me. So not that I'm trying to play like the conservative route like when I perform and stuff, but I've just been trying to be diligent about like, just watching what I do with my vocals, how I eat has a lot to do with it too. Like
and
you can't-
vocal warm-ups.
and vocal warm-ups, yeah.
We have to take this guy by the neck, pull him into the green room, and sit him down to do vocal warm-ups. And I think he's coming around on it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
his instrument, right?
Yeah.
We tune our guitars, we change the strings.
Yeah.
He's got to take care of his instrument, and he's learning. He's learning, and I think he's learned.
Yeah.
I think we're finally there.
I'm at the level where it's just like I'm just trying to make sure I have enough left for me in the long terms of things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and
Especially
I
if you're
can keep
playing
going.
every weekend.
Yeah, and we're doing 90, 100-minute sets, and these songs are not like country songs where it's in that
Yeah.
mid-level. These are up there.
Yeah, and you guys aren't even pausing. It's just straight.
It's energy, man. It's energy.
Yeah,
so.
you can't stop.
And
just-
it's to benefit. He has a pitch perfect voice, so like
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
he's not when we used to record back in the day, we would do 1-2 takes, and they're like, all right, that's good. I mean, there were like no editing, no post production, on his tuning, but yeah, I mean, these songs are not easy. I mean, and then he's not gonna and we tell him like, hey, like do this an octave lower. He doesn't. He does it like the record, like to the point, to the spot, like spot on. And even we'll give him shortcuts like, hey, Gerard Way does it like this live. He doesn't go all the way up. And he's still, and Anthony goes all the way up. He's legitimate. So, I mean, so I think the vocal warm-ups help, and, watching what he eats is helping.
So I have to take like a whole bunch of like medically prescribed antacids and things like that to try and keep like the levels of it down, because it's almost like a thing where if I build up too much stomach acid, what I do is I'm basically like throwing up in my throat, and then all of a sudden all the stomach acid starts to line my throat and I can't talk.
That's the worst feeling.
I sound like this, and then I can't sing. And
that's really aggressive then.
Yeah. And so so far it's been tamer than it has been, and I have been taking the proper precautions for it and everything. But
because you're a professional now.
I'm a professional now, and I wish I had the literacy to spell it. But
is it 2 S's?
I don't know.
2 F's or 2 I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I always, getting back to what Lou said, like where they're always trying to get me to keep it like, like low key or just try to conserve myself. I feel that I have to try and go the distance sometimes, because not that I feel like I'm doing this like in an unauthentic way. It's just like I want to authenticate the performance the way that you would expect them to do it.
Yeah.
And the way that you want it to be heard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not Gerard Way, and I never will be.
Yeah.
But Gerard Way has the leeway to be like, hey, it's like if I'm not feeling too hot and I can't get there, he doesn't have to really get there. It's like we all love him either way. It's like I'm Anthony Scarfito. It's like I think there's a level of expectation. Like people want me to do it the way that it's supposed to be done and the way that you hear it on the record. So
he's married to the craft,
and I want to get there. It's like it's the only thing that I want to do. It's like I want to nail it every time.
Yeah.
So that's why I always try.
You're a perfectionist.
Yeah. I don't like to do it subpar. Like I'm not trying.
That's when you're creative. Is like you become a perfectionist in your craft, because like you just judge everything. But
And on that note, I don't think we've ever played a show, and at the end of the show, he's ever been like, "Oh, I feel fine."
Yeah.
He's always like gassed. He's gassed. Like if you like all of our we take crowd pictures during the show, like midway through, he's just like laying face down, like he's not like, and he's just sweaty and just like. After every show, he's just like he needs like 5 minutes to at least get back into his body, because he's like he leaves everything on the stage. Like whether it's a show at Starland for 2,000 people, or if it's it's an outside show down by the beach and there's a couple hundred people there and whatever, he's giving it his all. Like I don't think he knows how to go like half.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't, and it's great. I mean, no one better to have at the helm.
yeah,
of this band.
exactly.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you're like singing like, you're not Jared Way like you said, but you're singing all these other songs where it's just like different vocal ranges from different artists. So like,
and
you might be a little bit better.
And
Thanks. Don't say that. Don't say that.
We've heard it. We've heard it. But he emulates it. He goes from like
I heard it,
Gerard Way to Adam Lazzara to the Silverstein screams. Like one song could be clean, the next song could be like have dirty vocals, and a day to remember like the screams. And so
Like I grew up listening and watching all these bands perform. So when you're doing that, you're influenced by them. So you pick up little elements like when you want to be like in this scene and you want to be a musician or a performer or whatever, you pick up little things from them that you remember. Like when you almost you observe them and then you take the mannerisms and you sort of adopt them. There's one thing that like I always noticed like back in the day, like Adam Lazzara did, like this is around like I guess like 2008 2010, where he had this thing where he had his hand like right here where it just did this little
he's going out like this, and he's swinging the thing,
and I was just like, I kind of adopted that when we do Taking Back Sunday songs, and it's like one of those things where it's like I get into it and I'm trying to emulate the Adam Lazzara like little I guess like dinosaur
that's awesome.
arm.
Yeah.
well, we did that for the Blink band too, and we would watch videos of how Tom acted like on stage to emulate them, and we took that seriously, and that translated to the Warped Tour band. So.
Yeah.
like what they said, their banter and everything. And
Yeah.
we never pulled their real banter. Like we
Like the
created
Mark
their-
and Travis show.
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing.
We never copied that, verbatim, but we still,
The style was goofy.
yeah,
kinda,
just,
yeah.
the potty humor.
Yeah.
And I
Mark.
So
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy to like see you guys like just like sell out cuz like when I went to Starland and saw you guys, I saw Story of the Year the week
weekend
before
before.
that. Dude, it was the same crowd. I was
Yeah.
like, "What the hell?" I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was packed, man.
yeah, it was a good time. We actually had the guys that played before us, the new metal band. We had them go to that Story of the Year show to hand out flyers. And
Oh,
they were
really?
more than willing. They were like, Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. And that's our crowd, Story of the Year, and a lot of these bands are touring again that we're covering it. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great for them. It's great for us because everyone now we're in their head like, oh,
Yeah.
Story of the Year, and now the Warped Tour band does those songs. So
Yeah, that's what I'm really grateful for too. It's like a lot of the bands like that we've been tributing, like they're all back on tour again.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really great thing. It's just it's such an exciting time. It's like it's fun to see that like all of the bands that I used to love growing up and that I heard about and like I discovered are all getting back into the element and coming out and putting it out there again.
Yeah.
It's like it's a great time to be involved in the music scene again.
Yeah,
It's
it was weird to see the transition of how the music like came back and the band started touring because I felt like this is just from my perspective during COVID when Machine Gun Kelly came out with his album because he was
Yeah.
producing it with like Feldman
Yeah.
and Travis Barker and then all of a sudden everyone started like playing again.
Yeah.
But it was just like so weird that it was that Machine Gun Kelly album that like got
a weird
Thank
pivot
you,
point.
Machine Gun
yeah,
Kelly.
yeah. Because before it was just like EDM, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it went back. I was like, all right, EDM, and then I'm like, when is this genre going to come back? And it came back.
Well, it's cyclical, so
yeah,
so-
it cycled through. It
Yeah.
took a bit, but it's back, which I'm happy about.
Absolutely. So are we.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
talking about our concert calendar with the shows we're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're seeing, Sum 41.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
We just got tickets to see.
What am I?
Story of the Year.
Story of the Year.
Used.
No, we're not going to that show. Although, shit,
It's gonna be a good show.
it's we're limited for what we can.
Yeah, 'cause you guys are
As
playing.
long as it's during the week, we're in.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'd rather play because anytime I go to a show, I just want to play. I'm like, I want to be on stage now.
True. Yeah.
And so it's a good time to just relax and just enjoy.
Yeah.
Live music from in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Each of you, what's your favorite band that you like to
perform?
play them? Yeah, perform the most.
Oh, we don't do it much, but I was a very, very big Midtown guy.
Midtown.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like when I discovered them off of Drive Thru Records, and I saw them a couple times in and out of like the tri-state area. Like I just fell in love with them. They were like
They just toured too recently.
they did. Yeah. I actually I vicariously I got to meet the band, and it was really, really cool. There's a what do you call it? A very good venue that's very, very good to us. Small K's Pub. They were playing out of there, and they actually got me like inside to meet and greet them, and they were all really cool guys. I really enjoyed the experience. I took a picture with them. I look like a goofy like nerd. I'm just like, yeah.
I saw the lead singer was it Fall Out Boy brought them out with the Cobra Starship, the lead singer,
Yeah.
to like sing that.
Yeah.
Whatever song that was, I forget. Like those good girls go bad. Or something
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
But Midtown actually, they used to play house shows at Rutgers. They used to be a big scene back in the day. And the basement shows are still doing that. A lot of the bands that come on here that we interview, they're still doing that.
Yeah. Basement shows are are always great, and they're always like they're always like the greatest thing. There's one that happens over by me in a town called Middle Island, New York. It's called Hops Fest.
Okay.
And it does like a lot of like local New York like metal and hardcore. And I would go there a couple times. Like I had friends, like it was always through word of mouth. Like you always had to like know about it. Like remember that stuff where it was like nothing was posted on
Gotta
the
get
internet.
the invite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would go to there a couple times, and I saw a lot of like good local bands that were coming out of there, and what do you call it? It's hosted by this guy named Hobbs, and he's one of the members of a band called Suffocation, and they're very popular in their own genre, in their own right, and everything, and they're very big on like just hosting shows and keeping like the local communities vibrant and alive. And I've always respected that. And it's like, I've always loved that about basement shows and like house shows and things like that, because it gives the exposure to like basically like things that you like want to see and you didn't know were there. Like I've always discovered like new music and new material through all those shows that I used to go to when I was a kid.
Yeah, the underground.
Yeah, the underground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about it. It's like you're always like, you always find something interesting.
The VFW hall days, man.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Those are all gone after. Yeah.
Yeah.
These would be huge.
Yeah.
The DIY shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$5 to see 6 bands.
Yeah. And it used to be packed.
Yeah, and and it's like you'd see all your friends there too. It would be like one of those things, you all came separately, but you were all there.
I know. There's like younger bands that come on here and they're like, ask me, how was the VFW shows back in the day? Because Wave and Firehouse was a big one. That's the town over here. That's where like Newfound Glory played, Jimmy Eat World, Saves the Day.
Isn't it amazing how like they did that in like the early 2000s, late 90s with no internet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. I put together a whole tour
I know.
of like that, like underground shows and VFW, and it's all like done through phone calls and like
That's what
mail.
we were talking about. They were like, how'd you used to promote back in the day? Literally, like we would
print out flyers and put it up at the music store.
Yeah, and I would take flyers, go into high school, and I would just throw it down the staircase.
Yeah.
That's like people would see it, you know.
Street teams.
Still have one of
Yeah.
my,
Oh my God.
my first flyers. Like it was in the gym of the high school.
Yeah.
You know, it was like Patent Pending was on that one too.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
patent pending. Okay,
Yeah.
We did a high school show in the gym. It sounded like dog ass because it's in a gym and
Yeah,
everything's
yeah.
reverberating. But
Yeah.
everyone still had a great time.
Yeah.
It's 02, 03, Jesus. I'm 22 though, but I mean,
You've aged really well.
I moisturize.
Just stop time.
Nobody likes me when I'm 23. But yeah, the flyers you make on like paint.
Yeah,
on your
marketing was
computer.
so easy back in the day. Now it's like you have to keep up with social media.
Yeah, you
algorithms,
gotta
all this stuff.
outperform on the ads and
Yeah.
work the algorithm.
But you guys got this now. You guys are packing.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
we got that algorithm under our control.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, congrats. When I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, wow. Because when we first started the podcast, it was like I think like last year, maybe a little bit more. We talked about the Warped Tour band because they were saying that Allison was like playing Paramore songs. Last year. And I was like, Warped Tour band. There's they play Warped Tour music, and I remember like we posted like a clip or something. And then you guys shared it, and I was like, I gotta check this band out, and I couldn't believe it. Like, yeah, it was just really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Wow, I can't believe it.
Yeah, and it's like we're grateful that we have the opportunity to do what we do at the level that we do it. It's like I didn't think about it at all. I was just like going through the motions, and I was just like, well, like especially in the first early days, I was just like, it's
Something to do.
It's something to do, and now it's just become this big sponge and an apparatus to move into new avenues of interest and people and excitement and adventure. It's like it's really an adventure. Yeah.
We're doing weddings and stuff. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's so cool like that. Like people like invite us to their weddings to play, and we've done a couple so far. We have a ton on the books for this year, next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we're a wedding band now. It's nuts because you go to a wedding like we'll see
That's
a
fun
wedding
music. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see all these videos online. And, people want to hear this music at their weddings, and people that book their
they
weddings.
treat us really good too. Like
Yeah.
we're almost almost have our own separate like table, like we're part of the
Part of the
guests.
group,
and
yeah,
I was
that's
like, that's
cool.
really cool. They feed us and everything. I'm just like, that's
Yeah.
really cool. It's like we're not just like standing here with our instruments until you guys want us to play and then leave. It's like they actually become our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good times. We played like first dances and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
nuts.
Wow. So I wanted to ask you this, since you guys are in the tribute band, cover band. We had Badfish on one time.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
And they recently, when we interviewed them, they recently just started doing originals from, I guess, like their exposure through everything. I think there's plug like a little bit into there. Would you guys ever think about doing that?
We've talked about it.
We have talked about it.
Maybe like one song. If we
Yeah.
could just like I said, before we went on, like it's so much.
Writing
on our
takes
plate.
time.
Somewhat, yeah.
A lot of
It's
time.
got to be perfect.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
has to be perfect,
It's got to
yeah.
be like, me and Anthony wrote songs, years ago in our old band, and everybody's has that original band, flavor. And we've never sat down and tried it. I could say that. But we've talked about it, like, hey, we should put together like a really good original song and see how it does. I don't know. I don't know if not yet. Not it's not.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not in the plans. I mean, we have so much other on our plate. Between adding songs.
Because I feel, the way you guys sound, I feel like you guys can come out with a banger if you really want to. But I know that it's a lot to write.
Anthony's a really, really good lyricist writer,
Yeah.
a melody writer. When we were writing songs for the Still Life, the concept would be so bare, and he'd be a riff, and like any other, and he just literally just put the perfect melody over just. Decent music, but like when he gets a hold of the music, he put the melody and that lyrical riff over it. It was just always so good. So I think it's something that we have
up in the air.
It's up in the air, and
it's undecided.
Yeah.
I
didn't know Bad Fish was putting out original music, and people have told me like,
They
hey,
literally just said it in
Really?
one of our interviews,
Very
and then
cool.
one of the guys goes, "Oh, I don't think we were supposed to say that," because the agent was like.
we're on the same circuit. At Bad Fish we play a lot of the same venues. A lot of our management or booking agent knows those guys.
Because they did our Bayville show last year. They
Okay,
had it,
cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a good question to pose to fans before you actually.
I'm sure they would say yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's got to be perfect, man.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the first one.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll go past the first or second one. It's just like,
if you're interested in original music, here it is. But we still do our
Guys, I
our-
planted the seed, guys.
Oh, man.
Oh, here we go.
check back in a year. We're always, and it's funny. Like we get asked all the time. Like that question we do get asked. Like,
Just
hey,
because you guys, the only reason I say that is because you guys sound really good together. So I feel like
you.
if you guys could do like every single band in the scene, there has to be something great that comes out of it. But yeah,
it would be an undertaking, and it, like I said, it's got to be perfect. And like we said before, like we were like, hey, we should do a podcast, right? It's called The Green Room.
Yeah.
It's just like there's 9 million other things because it's just us. I mean, we
especially when you're taking all your weekends, it's
Yeah.
hard to
and our weeknights. I mean, our weeknights are devoted to like getting ready for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time we actually rehearsed?
Oh God,
there's
it's probably been a little under a year.
Big-
we
don't really rehearse.
We
I
don't
mean,
really
we play
rehearse
so
anymore.
often. There's no need to rehearse. And
Yeah.
even when we add new tunes, we'll just say, "Hey, here's 3 or 4 songs we'll add. Everyone learn their parts." And
Oh, so you guys don't even go together and rehearse it when you get new songs?
very rarely.
Really?
Yeah. When we
Well,
first started, it was a little.
Yeah,
bit,
we've said before we first started. But now the process is. We'll take a group of 3 or 4 songs and kind of talk about it amongst ourselves and like, all right, let's add them. And then the first time we play it, a lot of times is either at sound check or we just like, let's just go. We'll just put it out there and we'll tighten it up during the shows just because we all have full-time jobs. This is not a lot of people assume like, oh my gosh, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing this week? Just like nothing. No, we all have full-time careers. We have 48 hour work weeks and we cut off early on Fridays, get ready for the shows, and a lot of that is being planned throughout the week. Itineraries and accommodations, especially when we travel. Transportation, hotels, the whole thing. And you wake up Friday morning, go to the first show, play the second show on Saturday, and before you know it, it's Sunday, and you got to get ready for your work week again.
How do you guys travel? Like, do you guys bus, fly?
It's all truck. It's all.
Oh, okay.
we have
Yeah,
truck
so
and
you're on the
trailer.
road.
Truck and trailer, maybe.
on the road.
Yeah. I have a what do you call it, a Kia Sorento that me and my wife take separately just so we have like an extra car just in case something happens, like if the van breaks down and stuff, or if we need to cut out early and stuff, because not the whole thing is when we're all stuck in the
You
same
mean
van
if you want to skip sound check? As
yeah,
opposed
and skip sound check.
That's what he's really
just
saying.
see
He's like,
Anthony driving
in
away.
case I want to just come in before right around doors, but after the band sound check and load it in.
I am every rock and roll singer cliche that you can
Absolutely.
imagine. I really am.
Oh,
yeah.
sound check is done.
It's
Oh,
so
here comes the
bad.
lead singer just in time for dinner and catering.
Yeah.
Catering just got put out. Here's the lead singer.
Yeah.
What's the farthest you've traveled so far with the tour and everything like that?
It's 8 hours, 9 hours to Virginia Beach. I think that was the longest drive. I don't know. Burlington is the furthest north.
Vermont.
Vermont.
Yeah.
That was up there like 6-7 hours. Yeah. So we'll go as far as 7 hours. We've been offered tons and tons of like fly-in shows. that's just a whole nother level, man.
Yeah.
Like, cause
It's a lot of time.
we not even time and logistics. And we have our, not to get technical, but we have our back line that our system, just it's so easily and simply it works. You know what I'm saying? But to fly that stuff or to rent it, because you get into renting gear, flying gear, travel. Flying is another level than just driving, right? So
The cost effectiveness.
costs money.
I mean, we can be busy as we fucking want here in the Northeast, and sometimes we don't even have to leave Long Island, but we do, and that's cool too. We're staying busy enough here in Long Island. We've been asked to come to California, Vegas.
So I think it was California. You guys would hit it hard over there.
The Roxy in California.
Yeah.
We started very early talks with the Roxy in LA, and then it's just like it doesn't make sense. I mean, to put in 8 times the amount of work where we're doing plenty enough here. So maybe one day we'll do some fly stuff with airplane stuff and
give the people what they want in the West Coast.
The
West Coast has everything anyway.
Yeah,
so at least
I'm sure
you guys.
I'm sure there's a band that's better than us out there doing similar stuff. So I mean, I know they do emo nights all around. So, but yeah, I mean, I think eventually we were talking on the way here about doing a Florida run. Doing an East Coast.
Yeah, we were
run.
actually. Yeah, we were.
Florida would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's
make a vacation out of
exactly.
it.
We were talking, we'd do Disney World and on the off day, and go to the beach on the off day, and hit some of the spots down in Florida, because Florida, it's not, they don't really have a winter, so we can do that during the winter, get away from here. And again, it's all got to be worked into. The whole band and crew is about 12 people, right? It's the band. We have our audio or front of house engineer that travels with us, our merch guy, all of our wives and girlfriends are in the crew. So you're talking about 12 schedules, 12 full-time jobs that we have to make work. I mean, it's vacation. Yeah, it'd be a working vacation, and we got to get 12 people to be like, hey, I want to go on vacation, but I want to work too, because it's a lot of work. I mean, it's fun for that 90 minutes, but the other 6-7 hours is not including the travel. It's work. It's like loading in. And we don't have it. We just have ourselves. I mean, we have some crew that help with the merch, and some of the wives and girlfriends help out and with some stuff. But it's all on us.
I don't help out with anything.
He shows up.
I just show up and
make sure he's on time.
Yep.
Lead singer problems.
Sometimes I'm really late.
Well, you haven't been late for a show yet, so.
But giving a shout out to Gary Caton. You wanted him to be here too, but unfortunately, due to
maybe
scheduling,
next time we can have Gary here.
Yeah, we couldn't get him. Yeah. But shout out to you, Gary. You're the man. And
all the other guys that put in a lot of work too.
Yeah, everybody else, Steve and Nick and
both Nicks.
Yeah, both Nicks.
And Johnny.
Yeah.
Got plenty of players that we can always tap in.
Yeah.
If someone gets sick or someone can't do the travel or work gets in the way. So.
I always try to make myself as available as I can, but even sometimes with me, it's like I run into situations where I work a union job, so the stipulation for the job is that I have every other weekend off, and I can request off for the weekends that I am supposed to be scheduled to work, but they don't have to give it to me. So usually when I'm on a weekend that I'm on, we try to stay local to like the tri-state area, just so it's manageable for me to get back home and then just pull an all-nighter and then just go and work my shift in the morning. So it kind of limits things to the way that we could travel effectively. But so far, I've been working it out as best I can, just so that we could keep like everything and the momentum going as far as we can. Yeah, and
it's going great, man.
But
everyone knows about you guys. Everyone I talk to, so you guys are
that market infiltration.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, I think in the future, we might do some faraway stuff. We've talked about it; it's in the works. But like I said, we filled up our calendar this year, and the demand is super high, and we're just super grateful for that. Before we start going and really not bend it over backwards, but like kind of getting out of our comfort zone. There's plenty of stuff to do here in New Jersey and Delaware, Philly, Pennsylvania, upstate New York.
People just travel that whole coast like back
Yeah.
and forth, and
Yeah.
you still have time where people will just always come out.
Yeah.
Leave
Yeah,
some time in between.
And sometimes it's like, hey, we'll get a message from somebody in Ohio, Ohio is just on the edge of
I
where
know,
we'll
yeah.
go. And be like, hey, it'd be awesome, but why don't you come to Harrisburg, PA? We'll be in Harrisburg, PA on this day. I think it might be a little easier for you to come to Harrisburg, PA to see us than have the whole band and production. Because, like I said, I mean, we got jobs too.
I know.
we got work and we got bills, and the band's fun and it pays, but there's other obligations.
I mean, it's cool that you guys have this on the side,
Yeah,
like it's like a great thing to do on the weekend, and like
yeah.
also to like relive that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, we're very grateful, and we know
Yeah.
that we're in a position that many people.
Yeah,
you
you guys got a really cool thing going on, and you guys are making money too. So
Yeah.
with it, can't
Not
experience
knocking it at
that and like
Yeah, we
huge
couldn't-
crowds like that.
couldn't be happier from
So hard to pack a place like that.
from the experience that we get and
Yeah.
the people
Yeah.
that we meet and the places that we play, and it's just really cool. And I love performing. Like performing is recording's cool. Writing is cool.
That
Performing,
dopamine hit, those live shows.
Yeah.
Boom.
that dopamine
Right in the
hit is
face.
yeah.
I think there is a technical term for it, like that little shudder that you get. Like it's like almost like a vibrant, like it's almost like pins and needles, but it's surrounding like your whole body. It's
Yeah,
like
well, it's
when I
dopamine,
get that,
buddy.
Yeah, that's dopamine.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, there you go.
And the withdrawal the
Yeah.
next day is real, baby.
Yeah.
We'd come home and we talk about this internally a lot. The dopamine withdrawal, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's like tired.
I know it's just we're a small tribute band, but like I think Mark Hoppus has talked about this a lot. When you play at an arena or a really good show and you come home and it's just you, man. It's sometimes really it sounds like pathetic to even say.
No,
but
it
like,
makes sense. A lot of performers have that.
They
Even
have
like
that-
comedians,
Yeah.
like they'll play
Mondays.
for like arena, they'll go back to a hotel. It's just them.
It's just them, and like
Yeah.
everybody's like screaming your name in 1 minute, and then the next minute, like everyone goes home to their wives, families, and
Yeah.
kids, whatever, and then you're just in your hotel room or you're in your house alone. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's like it's real. Like it's almost pathetic to say, but like I feel it sometimes too.
No,
so,
yeah.
But
as a performer, that's a real feeling.
it's
yeah.
a real feeling, and sometimes I struggle with that too.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't give this away for the world.
Yeah.
We're just talking about like striking while the iron's hot. Who knows? Next year, the trend could be over, and we could be old news. And we'd just be grateful that we're able to do it now, and down the road, who knows?
Yeah.
You guys got a lot left.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I think we
A
do
lot
too. Yeah. I
left,
mean,
yeah.
I would do. I was saying, like before we started this band, one of our favorite venues at Mulcahy's you mentioned earlier. Over the last decade or two, there's been like big tribute bands, like the Billy Joel tribute band.
Yeah.
Big Shot,
Shot.
awesome dudes, awesome singer. Mike. They named the stage after him at Mulcahy's and does that well. But I feel like that age group, it's kind of like, oh, do I want to go out on a Saturday night? But our age group, the 30, 40-year-old,
Yeah.
elder emos as we call them,
Yeah.
they're the ones now. Like, all right, we're gonna stop going out to the bar scene and drinking. We just want to go out and enjoy like our favorite music. And I think they'll go out into like their 40s and 50s,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So I think we got some time
Yeah.
left. We got at least a couple of years left.
You guys had a young crowd there too, though.
Yeah,
There's people
that's
that
cool
fall
too.
into it. Yeah.
The all ages shows, surprisingly, we didn't think it would,
Yeah.
but the all ages shows are so demanded. Like, hey, when's the next all ages show? All right, we'll drive 2 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, well, my kids love Green Day, or my kids love Blink, or they want to see. I want to bring my 11-year-old. That's freaking awesome. So
Yeah.
a lot of our all ages show, like our all ages shows, do really
Yeah.
well. And
that's what you got to think of. Like even us back in the day when we were younger, we were listening to Green Day when we
Yeah.
were like in elementary school.
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
those people are still going to be
a new
going to
generation of
shows.
emo
Yeah.
and pop punks, man, and it's awesome to see. And
Yeah.
I didn't. That's one thing I didn't expect is
Yeah.
the 11-year-olds and the young kids, and they come with their parents, and like this is freaking cool. And they just like this. So a lot of times their first live show, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
We've talked to people like that.
That's a cool thing because like one of my first live shows, it wasn't like an actual like it wasn't a festival, it wasn't like a real deal concert. There was this local band called Kane that my mother introduced me to, and it was one of the guys that worked at my current job, and he was in a band that was starting to get around like the local New York circuit, and that was like my very first like rock and roll type of concert that I've ever seen before performed live, and it was the same deal. It was all like a tribute band and covers and everything, and it was like
Yeah.
a local bar show, but I feel like there's like an element, like if your parents are kind of like versed in like the whole like rock and roll atmosphere, it's a perfect atmosphere to like introduce your kids to the scene and what it's fundamentally going to be like to get involved and get interested in all of this.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of grateful now that like now I'm a little older and I'm doing the thing that got me started in it. I get to do that for other kids because you never know what's going to come out of it. Like
a lot of the New Jersey clubs too do all ages shows
Yeah.
exclusively. It's tough in New York. I mean, New York, our hometown, right?
yeah.
Not too many of the places are doing all ages stuff. So it's cool. That's why we like New Jersey, like the Pony.
Yeah.
The Starland shows are always all ages. So
I mean, Asbury's the spot right now in Jersey. That's
Yeah.
like where the music hub is right now.
it's
for
it's
Jersey.
for sure.
You got Brucey this summer. Brucey's gonna be See Here Now this year.
Oh yeah, on the beach.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Nice.
Springsteen's coming through. Last year was good too. They had the Killers and Foo Fighters.
Our favorite band.
The Mr. Brightside side. Oh shit.
Any plans for this summer that you guys got going on? Or are you still guys playing through that?
Or what do you mean?
For the summer, any shows coming up?
Do we have shows over the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next available date is like September. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
when people
really?
are reaching out. Yeah, and it's still spotty in the fall. I
But
mean,
you're going to be in Jersey. Just will you be in Jersey
we'll-
again
we'll
during the
be-
summer?
Yeah, we'll be
Oh,
in
okay.
we'll be in Jersey. I think we got the Pony coming up with Aaron after this, but we're doing.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
I think actually the next Jersey show, if this is airing in a couple of weeks, Mountainside.
Mountainside?
Where is that? I don't know. Homedale? No, it's not Homedale.
You're asking me, man. I
Yeah,
am
no,
so
you-
clueless
we
when it
just
comes to
Anthony
anything.
doesn't really know where he's going until he gets there.
Yeah. I just float.
But yeah, we're definitely be in New Jersey, Delaware,
Yeah.
down at in Dewey Beach, which is one of the places
Dewey
that
Beach,
I
yeah.
had no idea existed until we got there. And there's like half inside, half outside venue called Bottle and Cork. Amazing. Such a
Really?
sick. It's an open air venue, but it's covered. Most of the venue's covered, so they can do shows in the rain and everything. But it's an open air, so it's hot. It's on the beach. This little Dewey beach community just parties, and it was an experience, man. I've never heard of it, never been there until we played there last year, and it was like. And they're really cool people there. So
Yeah.
that's one of the shows that I'm looking forward to. We're playing there twice this summer, which
Yeah.
is cool.
And I don't know whether or not, like, I saw a quote on top of the walls, like they had a whole bunch of like old school, like something you'd see like in an old man's garage, like all these old school like tin beer distributors that were like all come and gone over the thing. But they had this huge quote from Kiefer Sutherland, and I can't remember the quote, but I don't know if he has anything to do with it. I don't know if he's from there, but I just thought it was cool. Like
So
when I went there, I was just like, Kiefer Sutherland, yeah, Lost Boys, yeah.
Sort of random person to have up there. That's
But
amazing.
yeah, we have some weddings this summer, which we're excited
That's
to do,
awesome.
and it's always just a cool change of pace
Yeah.
to be in that element. The outside shows are always fun, always sweaty on the beach in Fire Island, back on Long Island. So got
Yeah.
a bunch of those planned.
Yeah.
Lot of work, a lot of fun, but a lot of work and a lot of sweat coming up this summer for
That's
sure.
good, man. I mean, summer's the time everyone's out and about, so it's gonna be a good
And
time.
The summer is the time for the Warped Tour, right?
Yeah.
So it fits the vibe. So that's always
Yeah.
cool. It's cool to play venues, absolutely, and we stay busy in the winter. But the summer is really where
We start to pick up, and then we have
start
no
to pick
lives.
up,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
this is
we're-
our lives. So we just had a weekend off a week ago.
It was a very it was a very very different vibe. Like I'm never.
What'd you do on your weekend off?
I
like
just
your
slept.
you just slept. Yeah,
I just
caught up
slept.
and sleep.
Yeah, it was the most beautiful sleep I've had in a long time.
I went to Florida and slept on the beach.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why I'm so tan. People are like, you go spray tanning? I'm like, nah, man. I just went to Florida and just spent 4 days on the beach and
I need that.
Nothing, man. Yeah,
I need that bad.
yes, sir. That was a fun time.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys. Thank you guys for coming in.
Oh,
We
thanks
got-
for
Thanks for
having us,
having
man.
us, man.
We got one more. You guys, anything else you guys want to talk about real quick? Anything you want to shout out?
Talking.
Yeah,
Shout
oh yeah, I
out
was supposed to share the Steve story, but kind of.
Oh yeah, well, share that real quick here
Yeah.
at the end.
So I'm coming down to like one of the first practices for the Warped Tour band, and I'm going down into this basement, into this like kind of like what is it, soundproofed studio room, and I have like this feeling like I've been there before. So I say it out loud, and Steve, my guitar player, he's like, "That's because you have been here before." And I was like, "No, like what are you talking about?" I was like, I don't remember ever coming here. And he's like, "You tried out for my high school band when you were 18 years old called Final Attempt." And I'm like, "You're that Steve?" And it was like because he what do you call it? I tried out like when I was I would probably say like 18, 19 years old, and he didn't like my vocals, so he threw me out like immediately. Yeah, I didn't get the part. So,
and years later, you're
yeah,
coming
like
back.
20 years later, it's just like I'm back in the same place where I started, and I didn't even remember it. And I was just like, I remember you now. You were a dick to me.
You got the Warped Tour band gig, so that's all. It's retribution.
Yeah. What you guys are doing now, it's crazy. All right, you guys, verse playlist of the week. Anthony, you want to start since you're our guest?
Yeah, the show-offs Into the Storm.
Show-offs Into the Storm. I'm going to have to give that a listen. The bands, the show-offs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a local band that I fell in love with when I was a kid, coming up in like the local like New York scene, and they were like an it band, and I still talk to a couple of the members, and they're still out there doing things and stuff, and their 5-song EP was like sort of an underground thing that I fell in love with, and it's one of my favorite songs ever. So
That's great. I'll have to check it out.
yeah,
Hopefully I get it on Spotify.
yeah, you can get it on Spotify. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out. Check it out. All right, Lou, you got one?
Yeah, we actually listened to this band the whole way here. For some reason, I've just been vibing with Amber Pacific.
Oh, okay.
And
I
we
haven't
just,
heard of them in a while.
right?
Yeah.
And we were just saying like how like just like awesome and simplified the writing was, but it was so freaking catchy.
Yeah, catchy. It's
I mean, one of their most popular songs was "Poetically Pathetic."
Okay.
So it's just a feel good pop punk song, man. It just
amazing.
it's kind of emo too, but
Yeah.
you know, it's pop punk emo, man. And
Yeah.
a lot of their writing styles, like I took on, you know, back 10, 15 years ago when we were writing music. So
Oh, okay, cool.
So-
That's awesome.
we had one of our songs we wrote, you know, before you had a name for
Before we
your
had a title,
before you
we
had the
called it
title, you
Amber
just called it
Pacific-
the Amber Pacific song. 'Cause it just vibed with them a little bit. So yeah, that's my.
I'm gonna give that a listen
first
again now. That's why I like doing playlists a week
Yeah, just-
because I hear something like, wow, I haven't heard that in a while. I'm gonna go a little bit since we got the Warped Tour band in. I'm gonna do some Warped Tour bands for the first one. I'm gonna do the Used Bulimic.
nice.
Come on, yeah. If you don't know that song, definitely check it out. First Used album, Sam Goody, baby.
That was the self-title one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The first when I saw that album, I remember it was on a Sam Goody commercial,
Sam Goody.
and I bought the wrong Used CD. I bought what's the other band? The No Use Name or
No Use for
No
a Name?
Use
yeah,
for a
yeah,
Name.
for Name. Yeah, I bought that by accident.
Oh, it's just because of the
Yeah, I was young. I was
Yeah,
super
but-
young, and I was like, "Wait, this isn't the one I want." And then like I returned it. They wouldn't let me return it, but eventually they did. And then that album changed my life. The first U CD, I love that CD. It's one of my favorite CDs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of any of their tracks, but I'm actually wearing their shirt. It's a band called Origami Angel, and I recently discovered them like just show hopping when I had the chance to, and fell in love with the record. It's just I never learned any of the so I guess just go with the first track off of one of the records and just I guess expose them and see if anybody likes them
Nice.
because they're really good.
Yeah.
Like, I got a Jones for them and I can't kick it. Like they're in my car right now.
Oh, awesome. I'm gonna check that out for sure.
all right, my second one, gotta go with Matchbook Romance.
Ooh.
One of the most important albums in my life. That you know we can say saved my life with Story and Alibis.
Stories and alibis.
That whole album's really good.
Dude, it's a full listen for sure.
I think that was like my first like breakup album.
Dude, and it was mine too.
An
And
album will like make you cry after
Yeah,
a
it
breakup.
really
Like
does.
we'll do Playing for Keeps.
yeah.
Uh,
Are we playing
yeah.
for keeps? Just take the wheel. You don't end for weeks. Everything to do with you. Excuse me while I fall apart. Confide in yourself, sweetheart. Let me take the wheel and we'll crash this car. Do you have to make this so hard?
You're so good.
No need to even play the track anymore. Now we just sing it. But yeah, that record is gonna be always like important to me.
I haven't heard anyone say that in a while, and that was like one of my favorite albums. That was around
It's a
when
great
the
record.
second Used album came out. It was around that time.
2004,
Like four?
man.
Yeah.
Right after high school, my high school relationship
Yeah.
ended, and that summer, that album and my dark basement.
Yeah, I remember listening to that around the same time as the Hawthorne Heights album and the second Used album.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny how you kind of put albums together because
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
get hooked on like an album, then like that other album is right there from Napster.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
accidentally download it from Napster, you download like another band, like, oh, I like this band too. And
Yeah.
you just kind of like group albums together
Yeah.
about when you were like obsessing over them.
Yeah. I
It's a
think
sh-
I
yeah.
think when I jumped from Matchbook Romance, I went right to Boys Night Out Trainwreck.
Oh wow,
And that was like I loved it. It was like the first.
Boys Night Out. I forgot about them too.
They're
Wow.
great, man.
Yeah.
Like especially their album Trainwreck. Like that one really. Like I never had the idea of like listening to a concept record like the same way after I heard that record. Like, and I was like brought up on Meatloaf and things like that. Like,
Yeah,
where, like,
I had
people,
the Meatloaf album with these
Yeah.
like the motorcycle.
Bat out of
dragon.
hell,
Yeah.
and like Trainwreck changed everything for me. I knew a couple of people were posting that they actually did a theater performance, like following the entire like album as like a Broadway play. And like they actually put it on like somewhere in upstate New York. I
Right.
wanted to go see it so bad. I never got
That
the
definitely
opportunity
works
to.
for that.
It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely works for that.
Yeah.
The only thing that back to Matchbook Romance was their second album. I was like, was it
Yeah.
Monsters? I was like, oh,
Dude, it's tough to
no.
follow up. You have
Yeah.
your whole life. I was, you know, you have your whole life to write your first album, and then you
Yeah.
have 6 months to write your second one.
That's true. It's the same thing with Finch. The
Yeah,
first
man.
album was
Yeah.
great, and their second one was like,
Yeah, you can say it for any. Like I said, you know, you
Yeah.
can pull your best songs that you've written over your whole lifetime and put everything into it, and then you release it. You're great, right? And then your label's like, give it to me, give me
Give me
another
6
one,
months.
and give it
Yeah.
a 6 month deadline. And you know, sometimes you pull through. You know, there's anomalies, but a lot of times, look, you know, brand new. You know, Deja was obviously a great follow up, completely different sound, but
Deja,
Yeah.
you know, your favorite weapon is just gonna like live on forever.
That's
where
true,
Deja,
yeah.
you know, there's a cult following for Deja, but you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll always be partial to your favorite weapon.
Yeah, that's
I,
yeah. your
I
favorite
feel like there was like a thing like where as like artists move into like changing up the sound or making like a different record altogether, it was kind of hard for like the rest of the community members to catch up. Like there's albums that were released at the time that I was like about, and I didn't really get an appreciation for it until I grew up and I grew a little bit older
In a
and I gave
different
it a
stage of
second
life.
listen.
Yeah.
A second listen, and I was like, this is exactly what it needed to be.
That-
Like I was
yeah.
like Midtown did that with what was it? Forget What You Know.
Yeah.
And it was such a different record from their last two like albums. Like it was a totally different style. The sound had changed dramatically. They were a little bit grittier, a little bit angrier, a little bit more like a traditional like rock bands rather than like going through the whole pop punk element of it. And a lot of people rejected them for it. Like, and a lot of people didn't like it at all. And at first I was like, it's cool. It's different. I'm not really into it. I like the older stuff, but as I grew older, I put that album on more than the other two. Like it just has a different element to it where I attach to the songs and the context to it a lot more. And I feel like that's the one thing that kind of got hard on about like the scene. Like we were kind of judgy as community members because we didn't allow the stage of growth for a lot of these bands, where like a lot of the bands almost got stuck in their own element where they had to rinse and repeat the same albums or the same types
That's
of
true,
songs
yeah.
and genres. And there was a lot of music that probably got left out of that stage where it was like it wasn't as appreciated as it should have been. And there's a lot of records out there. I could go on forever with that.
That was me with Blink-182
I
Neighborhoods.
was just gonna say,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, with Neighborhoods, that was not now. Now I think that's one of their best albums.
Yeah.
Neighborhoods,
You really
yeah.
dig deep into it, and
Yeah.
you're a little older, and you can
Yeah.
appreciate it looking back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. When I was a kid, I was like 15 years old, and I had first came across like Taking Back Sunday. I only liked one song on Tell All Your Friends. It was Great Romances of the 20th Century. And the
Yeah.
only reason was I was at a festival and I saw Adam Lazar perform Great Romances of the 20th Century upside down on top of like the steel bar that was above stage.
Just like
And-
drop.
And he dropped. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. So I fell in love and got attached to that song. Just because it was just really
Stage
good.
performance.
Can you do that at our next show? Just hang from the truss.
My ankles.
Yeah. I got
from the
great
trusted.
insurance.
Bert from the U's used to do that too. He used
Yeah.
to like do backflips from like the PA speaker.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's like Eddie Vedder, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
do that
throw
a
up
bunch
on
of times.
stage.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? This guy-
Yeah. I there was one time where Bert was up on stage for the Warped Tour, and like they had like a half an hour, and like the last like 5 minutes of their performance, he's just like literally on like the side, I guess the grout, like what would you call that? The
Truss-
structure or the truss?
Stage trusses.
And he's just yelling out. He's like, "We are the." Can I swear?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. We are the fucking U's. And he's just like looking at people all like with his gangly, crazy face. He's like, "Come here!" And then he just jumps right into the crowd. I think he lost a shoe. I think somebody like ripped it off of him as he was getting crowd surfed back to the main stage.
Their prime or the beginnings of going into prime were like the best concerts for like, all those bands.
Yeah, he was always interesting to watch too. Like, and
Very zany.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just great live performers. Like
Yeah.
every time I've seen them, it's just like, yep, that was
Story
that
of
was
the
a
year
moment.
in the U's, guys.
Yeah,
That's the show.
yeah, that's the show.
That was gonna be wow. Now I want to do one of the bands we just talked about as my last song, but I'm gonna do.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna do since we're well, we just finished AC Beer Fest, but I'm gonna do Saves the Day.
Yeah.
Through Being Cool.
There you go.
There you go.
Keeping it old school, kicking it old school. 1999, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, we made it happen.
So happy.
Thanks for
Thank
having
Anthony,
us, man.
Lou,
Appreciate it.
thank
Yeah.
you guys. Seriously for
Yeah,
coming in.
I hope it made it interesting, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I know this is probably gonna be a favorite one for a lot of people.
Awesome.
I already know that.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd love to do it again. I'll come up with even more interesting things to say if I'm
Yeah.
interesting at all.
Yeah, we could. No, it really. We could probably talk on for like another 2 hours, but we can't. But yeah, let's definitely do it again. Thank you guys for traveling. I know you guys are coming all the way from New York, so
Yeah, cool, man.
really means a lot, especially on a Monday, guys. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see each other again.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna go to that Stone Pony show.
Awesome.
By the time this comes out,
You
it'll
already
be
missed
done.
it.
But hopefully, you'll see their IG and definitely come. Thanks, guys. All right.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Woo, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you. Bye bye.